Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Kind
and
of where, I mean, it's like putting dollars in the stock or investing in everything else. You
yeah,
hours and you're going to decide what's important to you, and it is okay if you are in that phase, what with your family and what your family needs, for you to say these hours, um I'm going to give them all. I'm going to give everything outside of 40, 45 hours a week.
right,
My family, there is nothing wrong with that. I think making those decisions, there is always a trade-off. When you take time away from
sure,
your family, there is a very real trade-off. There are things that you are sacrificing by doing that, so that you can, hopefully you're gaining them elsewhere. But also, if you do decide, hey, I'm going to go all in on my career, and these are some of the goals that I want in my career, and this is the amount, this is what I have to pay in terms of hours, this is what I
sure,
have to invest into it, and that does mean a sacrifice. It means maybe I'm going to miss some dinners or baseball practices or things like that, and those are very, very real, difficult decisions to make. And so I always try, the advice that I give people is just knowing where you're putting in your hours, and making sure that you're getting out of it what is fulfilling to you. And it doesn't have to be the same for everyone. There's nothing wrong with using all that time for your family. That's beautiful. But there are also people that feel guilty making work a priority. I disagree with that. I think
yeah,
if that's your phase in life and you're putting it in because there are things that you want to get out of it, school fund, college fund, all of that you need for your kids, your family's financial success. Go you. That's okay. That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not a bad mom because you want to focus on your career.
yeah,
And I have several female leaders on my team, and try to express that upon them as well, that putting a lot of focus into your work doesn't make you a bad mom. Because sometimes women, I think, in the workplace need to hear that.
yeah, 100%. I think that there's definitely a divide, where it's like, oh my God, I got to get home. And it's just kind of like, I think it's good for children to see their mom thriving and doing well, and it's a good example, I think, of just, but look at the changes I'm making and look at what we're doing for our future. That's huge. I
And you
think
can't
it's
do it forever, and I think that's
right.
the other thing is,
Hmm.
that's where maybe the work-life balance comes in, is,
Yeah.
if you're doing that 7 days a week for 18 years, and then
Right.
it's on, what did you get out of that investment? Maybe it wasn't worth it, but, in the prime of your career, when that, "Hey, if I do XYZ, that's gonna get me to that next level of my career." I think it goes through ebbs and flows,
Sure.
and and then sometimes you just kind of are in the middle. I have, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, so a lot of my focus has been on home because they really need that in the
Right.
formative years. But I know that in a few years, I'll have to take some of that focus away from family to put it back into myself, to do training and all of that. And I'll take from both the family bucket, maybe a little from the work bucket, and I'll put it in the me bucket.
Yeah.
You had asked earlier of, like, advice giving to yourself, but when I think of it, advice or things that I remind myself, even right now, that I know that I should be doing, that I don't do as much as, I don't really think I have any of those hours into just me. It's going
Mm.
to work, and it's going to my family, but I don't do a lot of self-care right now, other than going to the gym. And I'm very aware that that's not a healthy permanent state. I can do this for a little
Yeah.
while. I won't be able to do it forever, but I'm very, very aware of it. I am going on a Disney cruise with my family in about
Yay.
2 weeks, so I'm finally taking some time off, and that'll be some me and family time. But
Good. That's awesome.
that is something that I'm actively working on and improving, is making sure that I'm putting some of that investment back into myself. And I think right now I'm probably not to the level that I could be or should be.